An article came out a few hours ago on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on alleged unprofessional behaviour on set. With this article here, they're saying that The Rock has is a history there of when you're on a film on a set of showing up very late. And with this, I'm going to go through this article. So first off, with the title, Red One Down: How Dwayne Johnson's Tardiness Led to a 250 million runaway production. So this Amazon MGM film was delayed to a 2024 release. So it was supposed to come out last year in the Christmas season, 2023. But the same with this, the real story is a lot messier. Production issues ranging from Johnson's chronic lateness and lack of professionalism on set to producers' inexperience caused costs in the movie, co-starring Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons, to spiral upwards to a final budget over 250 million. Gee, that's something right there. A sum more fitting for a superhero tentpole. And it says here, according to more than a dozen insiders directly involved in the project, the Red One production was a perfect storm of problems compounded by the inexperience of the film's lead producer, Hiram Garcia. Hiram Garcia is the brother of his ex-wife, Danny Garcia, of their production company, Seven Bucks Productions, and Amazon MGM feature and production executives Julie Rappaport and Glenn Gaynor, who are overseeing the project. And we've heard about this stuff. I mean, Rock's had some films have bombed, right? You know, the Black Adam was one, a big one that bombed. It's not all been nice and rosy for Rock stepping into Hollywood, but I'm sure he's still doing not bad in the pockets, though, really, when all's said and done. But with this, going through the stuff here, so this, about this alleged unprofessional behaviour showing up late. So first off, it says here that insiders told the Wrap that Johnson showed up as much as 8 hours late to set on the movie, forcing the crew to shoot around him on some days. On previous films, Johnson had made a habit of peeing in a water bottle to save time, but this upset crew members. And this is a story that he has told. He did a video on his Instagram at one point. He did admit this. And it said on set, away from his trailer, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go to the public bathroom. One insider knows the movie star well said. He pees in a Voss water bottle, and his team or a PA has to dispose of it. Amazon was hoping to launch a potential franchise with this Red One, and with this, you're talking 250 million has ultimately been spent. This is the budget, and with this stuff though, with the issues there with being on set, his lateness. Because they're saying here, while it's common for studios to strategically reveal selected scenes, the complete media blackout surrounding the Red One footage suggests that Amazon is aware that it will have a rocky road to its delayed release. In a statement to the Wrap, a spokesperson from Amazon MGM denied there were any on-set issues of Red One or delays caused by Johnson's lateness or Seven Bucks inexperience, which caused the film budget to balloon. It says that Dwayne Johnson and Seven Bucks have been incredible partners in Red One, a film that audiences of all ages are going to love this holiday season. Our testing has been very strong. The reaction from CinemaCon speaks for itself, and we couldn't have made it without Dwayne's constant work and support. Any reporting that implies that we got to this point without him showing up 7 hours late to set is both ridiculous and false. So there's a lot of stuff here that's about being late, and I mean that is a big thing. But I mean, will Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson be the first big Hollywood actor that is very late on set? Hours and hours late. He wouldn't be the first. No, this stuff can be quite common. These top actors, very busy people. But then there could also be other things going on there. It could be that there could be some personal problems going on there. It could just be overall just inconsiderate, type behavior. I don't know. I mean, I'm a big Rock fan. He was my guy growing up. So it could be either a case of this guy's just incredibly busy all the time, traveling, getting a plane from God knows where, and it's not intentional, or that it is very much a thing of I'll come when I'm ready, and they'll just have to wait for me. You know, someone that was a mentor of The Rock very early into his time in wrestling was Bret Hart, and Bret Hart was notorious for being late, and I think part of the reason for Bret making it being late on purpose was that, you know, as soon as he shows up at the very last minute, they're just glad then. They're just glad he's there. He's happy he's there, that they'll just give him whatever he wants. And that it's just that panic there mode of, you know, hey, you know, oh shit, and, they might have him down for something that he doesn't want to do creatively, right? But then if he ultimately shows up late and it's been a while, they're just glad that he's there, and they'll do whatever. They're just relieved that he's there. I don't know if that's something that Dwayne picked up from Bret Hart. I don't know if that would be the case with this in the Hollywood game, but I mean, I'm not going to say that this is all just true, and sorry, that this is all fake news, or I'm going to say every single thing, all the stuff, all these allegations are true. But I mean, I'm a big believer though, where there's smoke, there's fire. Though that's how I see it. And going along, that it says that the Red One tension also comes as Amazon Studios chief Jennifer Salk is attempting to get Amazon MGM's theatrical output on stable footing, and it intensifies doubts about the young studio's ability to effectively become a formidable player in a theatrical space. And with Johnson, who advocates himself as the hardest worker in the room, has developed a reputation in the industry for his lateness and lack of professionalism on set, according to multiple insiders who spoke to The Wrap. Said one insider, the only thing Dwayne was consistent at was being chronically late. His tardiness are numerous and well documented, from showing up to fan events to leaving entire sets idle while he was doing 3-hour workouts. Yeah, that's the thing. It's one thing, again, if he can't help it, you know, with his schedule, his busy schedule. But then if it's just him, lifting weights and posting workout pics on Instagram, then that is kind of some douchebag behavior, and that is unprofessional. And I don't care how big and successful and talented and how hard he works in the gym. It's like, you've got to have some consideration for all those other people there, hundreds of people that are working on it. It's not just all about you. It's a whole big project. And there was the thing there with the World, that event before WrestleMania 40. I think he was 2 hours late for that, but they're saying that was due to the traffic in Philadelphia. Again, a lot of this stuff could be just out with his control, right? Ultimately, but with people saying this on the set of Red One, that he was late on average of 7 to 8 hours per day and missed several days of production, ballooning costs by at least $50 million, according to 3 insiders who insisted on anonymity for fear of being fired. It was an effing disaster, one insider said. On days when Johnson didn't show up at all, the production crew was forced to shoot around him, the insiders added. Dwayne truly doesn't give a fuck, one insider bluntly said. In response to questions from The Wrap, 2 sources close to the production and 1 close to Summer Brooks all insisted that Johnson averaged no more than 1 hour late to the Red One set. So maybe they're just overinflating that he was late, and it was a regular occurrence. But they're blowing out of proportion how many hours late a day he was, I suppose. And so it's not all gone well for Rock on everything. You know, that Young Rock series that got pulled. So not everything's been a huge success in Hollywood for him. But then he's had a lot of big hits also. I know, for me, I was a fan of him as a talent in wrestling. You know, the Attitude Era time. 99, 2000, Rock was hotter than ever. He was the man then. But I don't particularly follow his movies. I'm not really I'm not a huge movie buff, really, and certainly not for a lot of the movies that that Rock's in. But with this stuff, I mean, could it be true? I don't know if it's all true. I mean, there's stories out there that people are saying that that what this is a hit piece, that because Dwayne Rock Johnson hasn't come out yet and publicly endorsed Joe Biden for president to carry on his presidential run, that this is now the industry getting back at Dwayne and saying, hey, we can put out this stuff about you, and well, if you better hurry up and put over the big guy. You better hurry up and put over Mr. Joseph Biden for president. That's what it could be, and you just think, well, The Rock doesn't comply and go along with what they want him to do, and what I'm sure he knows they want him to do. They want him to do. What else could they do? What other stories could they put out there? Because when you think about it, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's a pretty clean guy, right? Like, you've never heard any stories about being inappropriate with women, anything about sexual assault, nothing about any other nefarious acts, or anything about certain maybe relations, or so there's not much they could have on him, but other than, well, they could try and mess with his professional reputation, right? And but with this though, I mean, if it's all false, I mean, surely he could, he could, no doubt, I mean, he could sue them for defamation, right? If this was all bullshit. So they must have it on pretty good, like the sources must be pretty damn reliable, that they've decided to publish this story. There must be something to it, I feel. And so just carrying on with this stuff here, people just saying sometimes he doesn't show up at all and he's delaying the production. I think that goes to the stuff with Fast and Furious. And he had his issues there in Fast and Furious, didn't he? He had problems with Vin Diesel. There was some problems there with the guy Tyrese Gibson. And it kind of, from an outsider looking in, it felt like almost like he was kind of trying stepping on the toes of the people there. Were kind of like more like the Fast and Furious originals. Would I be right in saying? That was very much like a family when you think to like the people that were in that, from Tyrese Gibson, Vin Diesel, they get, rest in peace, Paul Walker, and yeah, I think, and he wanted to really make it all about him. Really, is from what my understanding of it. I'm not a huge Fast and Furious fan though, but people are now saying though that what happened though, insiders accused Johnson of breaking strict quarantine rules on the set of Red Notice. He was frequently flying home and breaking extremely strict rules of the bubble. He posted about working a 14-hour day only to delete it. And it says here that he got to host family and friends for a barbecue, wound up by getting COVID anyway. And I believe it's not the time his young children got COVID as well. And this is most selfish thing I've ever seen an actor do. An individual close to the production denied that he broke quarantine rules, and said nothing that he did was in violation of COVID protocols. So you're getting different stories from different people here. And there's the whole thing about the personal pee bottle. Some people could say, well, is that a big deal? I suppose what's a bit like, I damn sure wouldn't want to be that personal assistant having to like go and take away a bottle that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's pissed in. I'd be looking at that bottle and be thinking, what has come of my life if I was doing that? But I mean, nothing major. It's not like he's killed anybody, but still a little bit, But I mean, other people. I mean, it probably is a thing that that. I'm not saying that's right, but I mean, the toilets in these places, again, how it can be on set, it could be a fair long walk to go to a toilet, and he just decided, oh no, I'll just have my bottle there. If I just really need to pee, I'll go. That's what that could be. And going on with this, so there's the stuff that it's involving that his his ex-wife's brother that was there. So he started out as Johnson's personal assistant on his one of the first big films he did, Scorpion King. And then he became his full-time assistant later on, Hiram Garcia. He was responsible for prepping Johnson's meals and making sure he had water on set. Then he got up to creative assistant in 2011 on the Fast Five, and it is basically his only job was to work for Johnson. He's got his team of people, hasn't he, Rock? And at the end of the day, it's like it's Rock's world, and everybody just happens to be a part of it, right? And then he got promoted to president of production at $7 in 2017. So that seems like quite a huge jump, right? But then, hey, it's his company. What? It's his company. And then his ex-wife owns the company. It's her brother. Hey, it is what it is. But nepotism is real. And then so here, Hiram went from making Dwayne's protein shakes to running his company. Universal Insider said. Vince tried to give Turtle a real job. Hiram Garcia is what you'll get as a result. So there's that there, nepotism. But, that happens. I mean, that happens in every walk of life, though, doesn't it? And with this going on, so there's other stuff here. There's other stories and other things, past things that have happened with Dwayne. It's not all rosy. As much as Dwayne tries to make out like he's the nice guy and he just wants to get along with everybody, there is people there that he's pissed off. That he's rubbed the wrong way. I think there was stuff even there was with Ryan Reynolds. There's something there about the lateness. He got real pissed off at that. Ryan Reynolds about Dwayne being late, and they almost got in a fight. So here, give Reynolds credit that he was going to go toe to toe with Rock in a fight if that's true. But and hey, he could be part of the club. He could be part of the Illuminati, Ryan Reynolds. But I'll give that guy credit for what he's done with Wrexham Football Club. Much respect for that. But there's a lot of other stuff with Rock. Some dodgy stuff there. There's the whole things with. I mean, there was that, wasn't there, that Saturday Night Live skit, and there was, him and Tom Hanks, and they were saying something about to do with pizza, making reference. I think it was a blatant reference to kind of like the whole Pizzagate conspiracy. And that's one to look up. Look up Tom Hanks. There's some sketchy shit out there about him. But there was the whole controversy when they had with Oprah, when it was the whole Maui with them when they launched that fund to help the survivors of the Maui wildfires. So there's that whole thing that didn't get over the way that they thought it would, with them asking for money for people to donate to this with this fund. And there was a big criticism there why they weren't contributing more of their personal wealth, why they were just asking us normies to hand over our money, and that there was going to be a lot of money to provide these people. I think it was like $1,200 each month from the fund, and that didn't go over well. There's a lot of criticism there, and there's just been some dodgy things. I mean, on the surface, yeah, you'd think Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Oprah, they seem like two like maybe the nicer people in show business, but Oprah Winfrey's one though. Again, we now know about the friendship with Harvey Weinstein. We know about some of our other people that she was close to and friends. Wasn't there that guy? Was it John? Was he called something John something? Some guy that was like a spiritual healer guy, and he was like a prolific the P word, I've got to watch saying that word on YouTube, but he was with numerous people he had abused sexually. I think Naomi Campbell was connected to that person as well. There's a few dodgy, there's so many dodgy characters out there in Hollywood. But I think Oprah Winfrey being buddy with Harvey Weinstein would be enough of a red flag there with her. But they did this thing, and that there was some controversy there, and with all this stuff, the stories here, there's a lot of controversy there with all this stuff about the unprofessional behaviour. Again, it could be true, yes, but then it also could be an agenda there that is a hit piece to give him a bad name, to slander him, and so I mean, it'll be interesting to see the fallout in the end. Is The Rock, would he sue this publication for defamation? Think if none of it was true, but then even if some of it was true, he could still stand firm and say that I'm and file a lawsuit for them defaming him. But again, there could be that agenda though there, because Rock's in that world where he's playing the game. It's obvious that he is playing the game. Him endorsing Biden and Kamala Harris before was him playing the game, I believe, because Rock has spoken before about how he was more of a Republican, and he did speak out a little bit about against cancel culture. This is like back in 2017 time, right? But I think the culture's changed so much now, and in that world, it's in the Hollywood, it's like 97% Democrat. The people, the stars are all Democrats, and they are Republican. They've got to keep that on the down low. And if this is because this is true, it's because Rock's not endorsed Biden. I shudder to think what, because they could just put out false stories there about Rock. Who knows what could come next? It's like if he's not going to endorse Biden, and like to them, even Rock being silent wouldn't be enough. It's like they need a big endorsement from a big guy. Biden would want that big guy that's like popular. He is like the man. He's already surpassed probably Will Smith now as the biggest movie star, and they'd feel they would need that endorsement from The Rock for Rock to endorse Biden to be president again. But I shudder to think though what other stories could be put out there. There could be, they could just plant fake stories and just pure lies to try and destroy him. People can do that. The never underestimate that these people, the controllers, and these people, and they're controlling the media world, and they control the banking, they control the military-industrial complex, and they'll take people down, whether they deserve it or whether they don't. But they'll fuck them in the end. That's my video for now on all this, guys, but feel free to hit the subscribe button, and let me know what's your thoughts on all this. Do you think that there's truth there to this stuff about The Rock? Is it true there about unprofessional behaviour, him being constantly late, being late for hours and hours on end? Or do you think this is all could just be bullshit there, and just bullshit, tabloid type gossip? But that's me for now, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.